Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome the host of our show, singer, songwriter, mother, liver of life, a member of AA, AAA, the CMA, and AARP, the peacock of country music, Miss Lottie June.
It's good to be here tonight on a Friday in Nashville, Tennessee, right here in my living room. I'm Lottie June. This is the Lottie June Show. Just a little piece of my life I like to share with all the people out there who've become fans over the years. A lot of y'all know, a lot of y'all don't know, I've been a singer, celebrity, gold record receiver for years and years and years. I broke into country music in 1964. Got here in Nashville on a bus from a little town in Tennessee called Leoma. My daddy put me on that bus and sent me up here, and he said, Lot, he said, I know one of my kids has got to make it, and it sure as hell ain't going to be your sister Lucille. He said, you're my hopes, my dreams, all rolled into one. And here I am, this and that, 46 years later. Doing my own TV show. We like to talk about current events and read cards and letters. Tonight, unfortunately, we don't have a special guest. My best friend, Faylene Rich, was supposed to be here, and she wasn't able to make it, so we're going to read a card from a viewer, and we're going to take it from there. I want to read this to y'all, because, you know, my songs have always been written about personal experiences in my life. I never, ever just sing a song to be singing a song. And I take it all personal, and this is a card. You're a friend who's meant to be, and it means a lot to me. And this is coming from Miss Pearline Jackson down in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. She lives on Stump Knocker. And this one says, Dear Lottie June, I was lucky enough to see you perform at the Moose Lodge in Winter Haven, Florida in 1978 when we lived there. A lot of y'all know this, a lot of y'all don't. I lived in a little town called Auburndale a few years. My third husband, Enos Culpepper, he worked at the fruit packing plant there. I followed him down there. It was a disaster. And this letter says, are you coming to Hattiesburg anytime soon? And my question is, what do you think we ought to do with our grandson who lives with us? He stole just about everything we've got. He's on dope, and he's out of control. Sign, your biggest fan, Pearline Jackson, Hattiesburg, Mississippi. Pearline, I want to tell you, a lot of y'all know this, a lot of y'all don't. You probably remember a little song I had called Barbette. It's about my youngest daughter. And it's a song I wrote talking about a night here in Nashville when she got doped up. And I ain't talking about on that regular dope. I'm talking about that real dope. And she went down to a Piggly Wiggly, disgraced me, started stealing meat and cold cuts, trying to sell them for dope. And I wrote a song about that. Went to number 3, I believe, on the billboards. And that wasn't the only problem we had in our family. I got a niece, Jolene, my sister Lucille's daughter. And I got a call one night here at home. Said, Lottie June, it was my sister Lucille. She said, sis, I need you to come on and get me. My car's in the shop. I done got a call from Jolene. She's down in Huntsville, Alabama. Stoned out of her gourd. And didn't know where she was at. Well, we went down there. I loaded up my Eldorado and took her down there. And my niece didn't know where she was at, who she was with, or nothing else. We pulled up to an intersection, and I'm telling you, I knew where she was from the time we pulled into the parking lot of the Texaco. You could smell a vomit from 30, 40 feet away from that Blazer she was driving. And turned out, she had gone to a bar with some people she knew. And she got up in there and this and that, and I don't need to tell you, somebody slipped something in her drink. Well, she went home with her friends. They said they went by IHOP. She vomited all over a booth in there. And she got home, back to an apartment somewhere in Huntsville, and she decided she was going to leave that morning about 7 o'clock. And she got on the road and passed out behind the wheel, and I guess you know, just a couple blocks down the road, she went through a barbed wire fence and into a cow pasture. And that blazer come to a stop. Well, I fast forward the story, 2 o'clock that afternoon. And she woke up, and she's covered in vomit from head to toe. That blazer was covered. It was a day of summer. Sun shining, the heat, the winters was up. And she backed that thing out of that cow pasture and went to a store, and she said she just wanted a Coca-Cola so bad she couldn't stand it. And when she called her mama and told her she didn't know where she was, but she could tell her the intersection. And so that's what happened. And that's when my sister called me. I went down there, and I told her, I said, let me tell you something. I said, you better go cross over that dollar store, or Family Dollar, or whatever you can find, and get her some, first of all, some new clothes. I'm going to go in there and get her a Coca-Cola, because as she said, all she could taste was a Coca-Cola. I said, I'm going to go get her one. And you going over and get her some fresh clothes and a damn bucket, because if she throws up in my Cadillac, I'm going to kill her. And so she went over there and this and that, and she got them clothes and everything else, and I'm telling you what, we left that blazer. And right there, because it wasn't fitting to drive back, I was going to have it towed back for them. And we got up in there and got her home, and I guess you know, my sister said that next afternoon when I called over there, she had begun to, her eyes was turning black, her hands was numb, her feet was numb, and she couldn't remember nothing. That's when they took her to the emergency room. And that doctor told her, they said, she was given a roofie, and it's called a date rape drug. And that's what she had in her system. No wonder she couldn't remember nothing. I asked her, I said, what was you drinking in there? She said, well, Aunt Lottie June, I had some black Zambuca, tequila, a beer, some wine, and sex on the beach. I said, I don't begin to even know what that was. You was in a piano bar. How could you have sex on the beach? And I told her, I said, let me tell you something. You done caused your mama a world of hurt. And I said all this to say that, Pearline, let me tell you what you do with your grandson. You and your husband, whoever you got, a church member, a friend, y'all hog tie that little bastard, and you get him to a rehab center somewhere. I just want to tell you my experience with my daughter. I wrote a song about it, and of course mine went on the charts, and everybody knew my business and this and that. But you can do something about it. My daughter Barbette right now is serving time right down there at 110 Public Square in Nashville. She's otherwise incarcerated, and there's sometimes you can't help people. There's sometimes you just can't help a person. They got to help themselves. And my advice to you is just love them. You gave birth to the one who gave birth to your grandson. Unfortunately, my daughter, I gave birth to her, and I have a little bit of blame I put on myself. But I want to tell you this. Anytime you need something, you call on me, write me another letter. And everybody's letter who gets read on the air is going to get a copy of my brand new gospel album. It's called Everybody Drives a Cadillac on the Lord's Highway. And right now, I reckon it's in down at Walmart, at the Mexican grocery store right down here on the corner. And you can write to my post office box here in Nashville and get it. But we're fixing to go to a break. We're going to have to pay the bills. You can't have a show like this without sponsors. And when we come back from that break, I'm going to sing a song. I think I'm going to do that song, Barbette, I wrote about my daughter. And I'm going to send us out that way. Next week, of course, we're going to have my two oldest daughters, Suzette and Bevette. can't have Barbie because she's down yonder at the Metro Jail. Anyway, we'll be back in just a minute. I'm going to get out of here and get me something to drink right quick, and I'll see you back in 2 and 2.